reason why you're here in Adelaide now, you're doing basically a whirlwind tour from Perth all the way up to Cairns, and basically involving looking at our youth and our youth players. And tell us a little bit about your business here.
Well, it's basically talent identification in behalf of a number of clubs back in the UK and Europe. They're always looking for new avenues to show younger players that maybe are a little bit cheaper to buy than what they are in Europe. I mean, the market in Europe is so expensive that clubs are looking further afield. So Australia is one of my recommendations as a market to look at.
Now you've got key personnel in each state, and of course here in South Australia you've involved yourself with the Australian Footballers Pathways program and John Walker, who we've featured on the show. Your connection there?
I've known John for a number of years, and he's always been passionate about football and coaching, and some of the ideas he's given to me, I was quite happy to help him along and advise him on how to go forward down the track.
What's some advice that you can give us here for, like, if there's young boys out there watching and want to perhaps, you know, make it overseas in Scotland or England, some advice that you might be able to pass on to them?
Maybe a lot of advice. I mean, it's so difficult to make it overseas now. One, you've got to keep working at your game, you know, improving, you know, your passing, your skill level, your heading. It's one thing Australians don't really work at. It's heading. To me, heading is a skill. So it's an overall work rate, and don't fall into bad habits. You know, it's so easy, I think, in this climate to become lazy, you know, and switch off, lose your concentration. Because back in the UK, you know, concentration is a very, very key skill factor being a top player.
Now you're not new to Australia, because we'll look at your career in a minute. I'll get you to give us a brief overview, but obviously you played for Carlton, and how would you, I mean, you've seen an A-League game, a couple of A-League games, how would you compare the A-League now to when you used to play in the National League?
Well, the NSL was much better. Obviously, because I played in it. No, I don't think the overall standard is a lot better. I think what the A-League have done is it's marketed a lot better. It's a bit more glamorous. You've obviously got a lot more sponsorship there. TV, media coverage is certainly greater. I think the NSL certainly missed that.
Well, obviously, when you have media that does cover football, you're going to get a lot more exposure. You're going to be opening up for the junior players to be able to watch these games and become more interested and more excited about, you know, furthering their careers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's that many A-League games being shown in Europe, and that's one of the reasons why clubs have said to me, look, go over to Australia, have a look at young boys. You know, so they're marketing themselves now in a worldwide stage, whereas before it was sort of a wee bit in-house.
What interests you when you see a player? What's that spark or that little bit of interest that takes you in?
I think because I realise how difficult it is to make it as a top player in the world today, and I know the sort of dedication, the work rate, the skill level that's required. So when you see that younger player who's got this sort of more or less a full package, it does excite you, but there's still a long way to go. I've seen many players that you think have got the full package, then they fall by the wayside. They pick up a girlfriend or something.
Oh, we get the blame for everything, don't we?
Girls always get the blame.
Yes, but you know, if you get the good girlfriend that helps you with the football,
but
then you're very lucky.
We've all still to find the good girlfriend.
All right, let's just change the subject here before we get into trouble. Looking at your career now, obviously a young lad born in Scotland, got to play for your hero team, Rangers, broke into the first team. What was interesting about your career is that you went from Rangers to Hearts, back to Rangers, back to Hearts. Now that's very, very unusual for a player to do that.
Very unusual. I don't think it's ever happened before. Unique. I don't know why it happened, but it did.
You can't trace back why you particularly went back twice?
There's just certain moments in my career that suited that time. You know, I think I fell out with the manager in 1987, Graham Souness, and I played every game that season. We won the league. I think I scored 13 goals from centre back, but there was a personality clash, and if there's a personality clash with a manager and a player, the player loses. So I get sold, and 5 years later they bought me back for I think 1.8 million.
And that second time, your second stint at Rangers was much more achieved, more successful for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I won 5 medals, domestic treble and a double performance.
That's fantastic. Have you been able to influence or use that, your experience to pass that on to younger players, either within both of those clubs?
Yeah, definitely. Our company looks after a number of young players, in fact a number of players that serve Australia.
Yes, the McGowans.
The McGowans, and I would rather let them speak for me, but yeah, definitely.
Well, we of course have had all the, as I said to you before, we've had Ryan McGowan, we've had Rocky Visconti on the show, which was fantastic. They opened up their experience to our viewers, and viewers enjoyed it very much. So.
Yeah, these great guys, you know, they're great personalities, but first and foremost, they're great players, and hopefully they go all the way. I'd love to see them do that.
Oh, we would too, honestly, we would. Because you said achieving, you want to achieve more. What would be, how would you know, what's the mark that you would know that I've achieved this certain thing? What is your goal, your next goal?
I've not really set a sort of general target for that at the moment. You know, when I played, I always had targets that I wanted to win, obviously my first medal, you know, first cap, playing the World Cup, playing the European Championships, remain injury-free. I scored 4 goals in my European debut. You know, for a centre back was unique.
Yeah, very.
So,
very.
you know, I've got the sort of football goals all ticked off, but I think you want to be successful in business. That's a target. I want to be associated with successful people as well. I think that helps you out with football.
Very, very hard to do that, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Your nickname, Big Slim.
Yes.
How did you get that? Who gave you that nickname?
I actually had it since I was 14. I was quite tall as a young kid, and I was very, very skinny. So slim and skinny went together, and then I started growing, getting bigger, so it was Big Slim.
I do thank you for giving us some of your time, because, you know, as a young girl I did watch you play, so it's a great honour to be able to sit here and talk to you. In fact, I have to pinch myself that I'm doing this. I wish you all the best as you make your way up Australia and see your other contacts, and I really look forward to keeping into contact with you.
Yeah.
You are now a friend of Fulham Football, can I just say that? And once again, thank you very much for your time, because it's really, really appreciated.
Not at all, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, cheers.
Thanks.
Well, that was, what a fantastic man, what a fantastic experience, and again, John, thank you very much for that, because that was brilliant.
I thought you was talking about me.
Oh, we're definitely. No, look, it was great to be able to talk to him, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up with him when he comes back, if he comes back to Adelaide. Now, what we'd like to do is direct your attention to this website, and that is, of course, the FFSA website, and that is www.ffsa.com.au, and you can find all the changes of schedules and fixtures, etc., along with a lot of other information that's coming up. They're consistently changing it every few minutes, every couple of hours, so there's a lot of stuff there for you to find out about. Also, if you want to contact us, you can do so on adamna@optusnet.com.au, or you can write to us at Full On Football, PO Box 319, Henley Beach 5022, or you can call us on 0421 507 948, and of course, very, very interested in sponsorship, as each one of these gentlemen have done so over the last few years with Full On Football. Of course, John Walker really helping us out this year, and basically that's why Full On Football's come back. And also Kenny Tosh, I mean, it's so unreal that you have a walling systems business, being part of a Great Wall yourself in defence. So fantastic for sponsoring us, and that of course is Eco Walling
Often
Systems.
being called Hadrian.
Hadrian, very much so. Thank you very much, and of course your club too that you were involved with, Dougie Comets, do sponsor us, so it is fantastic. We really, really appreciate it. You can see us also on YouTube, so the shows do go onto YouTube within a couple of weeks after we air them, and that is of course on www.youtube.com/user/ Full On Football, and you can see the shows there, and also on Facebook. Gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you very much for coming on the show, and as a gift, I'd like to give you a copy of the Scotland and England game that was played on Boxing Day, where you did participate and did very, very well.
Yeah, some good players.